Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy, your weekly movie podcast. I'm your host, Mephisto, and always with me, my co-host, Oh My Feelings. Good evening to you, sir.
Evening, buddy.
What is the Reel McCoy? The Reel McCoy is a weekly movie podcast where we take one movie, we ask you to watch it, you go watch it, come back to us, and we break it down, we geek out on it, tear it apart, and tell you how we like it, we didn't like it, and all that good stuff. Along the way, we've got two games for you and a little segment that Oh My Feelings controls with his nasty little thing. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just for interaction purposes, ladies and gentlemen, you can always interact with me on Twitter at Mephisto or on Instagram at Mephisto79. You can email the show at therealmccoypodcast@gmail.com. Or if you don't want to watch us on YouTube or just happen to, want to watch us live with a little bit less delay, you can always go to twitch.tv/therealmccoypodcast and watch us with a little less delay and enjoy yourselves that way. That is it. We are by ourselves this week. Let's say hello to Seth in the chat. Seth, our moderator in chief, on both ends, both on Twitch and on YouTube. And of course, I will get rid of this because that is immaterial. We continue our Robin Williams month with a dark comedy called Death to Smoochy. Yes, it's weird that I had to put 2 goddamn stars on the word death because YouTube is being an ass.
Yes.
I could have left it Death to Smoochy, but everywhere else that I've looked for it on YouTube, it has those words bleeped out because today you can't really say death on YouTube. Even though I said it like 7 million times already.
Yes.
All right. So, Death to Smoochy, a dark comedy directed by Danny DeVito. We asked you to go and watch it. I watched it once and a half Watched it once with my wife and kind of half while I was doing the short version. How many
Couldn't
times
get
have you
through it the
watched?
second time.
No, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. We'll get to it. Well, how many times you watched it this week?
3.
3. So one with our guest Rains, not our former
Yes.
guest, but you watch it with Rains. Was it her first time?
Yeah, she had never seen it before. Never even
Okay.
heard of the film before.
Yes. Well, you'll
Yeah.
probably touch upon that
Oh, well,
in a
we're
minute.
gonna get to that.
And yeah, you can tell I went in thinking I liked this movie, and again was crushed when I discovered, oh, I remember I don't like this movie at all. Like at all.
It's
Oh,
kind of for
it's
you. I
gonna
think
be a
it's more
fun.
one of those like the true romance realization that you had.
Exactly. I was like, I can
Nope.
appreciate it. No, I can appreciate the movie. There's are things in it. We're gonna, of course, when we get to it, we'll get to it. There are things in it that I kind of liked, or I know where they were going for. But on
Yes.
the whole, I was like, eh.
I think there are. Once I get to the behind the screen segment, some of that'll make I think a little bit more sense.
All right.
But
You know what?
also,
That's a great segue. That's a great
okay.
segue. All
Well,
right.
one thing I was going to add before that, though, real quick, was when we were talking about setting up the Robin Williams month. One movie I wanted to actually pick instead of this movie, but I thought it was actually going to be too dark. Was World's Greatest Dad.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
also a comedy starring Robin Williams that was directed by Bobcat Goldthwait, which is, oh my god,
All right. Well,
wow.
before we really get into it, I know I'm taking a little bit more of your time, just in case you were wondering, or not even thinking, because I haven't put it in the title. This is actually our anniversary show. We're celebrating 1 year of doing this show. We missed out a couple of weeks along the way, or 3 weeks along the way, because it's not actually number 52. But IRL and all that stuff, but it is actually almost to the date. Is it tomorrow is the date?
Tomorrow was tomorrow
The
was the
actual
first
date, but
was Blazing Saddles. Yeah, it was our
was
first one.
Blazing Saddles. We did it. We did broadcast it live, but we did it like unlisted, because we're gonna tell the story at the end. Okay, we're gonna leave it at the end. We're gonna have a little toast. But first, we're gonna get to the movie. We said behind the scenes. This is a great segue to go behind the screens.
Production take 2.
Behind the screens is where we diverge ourselves to all my feelings. He's going to give us the lowdown on everything behind the scenes, production, all that. Take it away, buddy. Sorry. I had to go
start off
there for a second.
I know we had discussed a little bit backstage. There are going to be some things I'm going to bring up during the review of the film. That's kind of backstage stuff, but it's more kind of just subtle nods that Danny DeVito had put in the movie that are just kind of interpersonal jokes and little side gags that it's a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing. They're really, really funny though.
All right.
Anyway, first and foremost, let's get this right off the bat. This movie was a giant bomb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Massive failure. This movie had a $50 million budget and only returned $8.3 million gross.
Oof.
Yes.
$50 million?
Yeah. And you
wonder
where the hell did the money go?
My guess is actor salary. Maybe.
I'm thinking that I couldn't find anything for speculation on what they were paid per, because typically they have that information listed somewhere. I couldn't find that, but what I could find is all the ice rink setups cost them a fortune.
Really?
Oh, an absolute fortune. And the guy who choreographed all of the actual all the ice skating segments was actually an Olympic figure skater.
Brian Boitano?
No,
Okay.
Erica.
That's the
St.
only one
John's?
I know.
Yes,
Dude,
but
that's
he
the
actually,
only one I know.
I believe he was actually Canadian though. So,
Okay.
um, speaking of
Was he
how this
talking
movie
like this?
was,
No? Go on,
no,
go on. I'm sorry, I'm
I would say,
derailing you.
no, it's
I'm
okay, it's
derailing
okay.
you. I'm,
I will
you
say
know,
the one of the reasons why this movie being a bomb was so notable was the fact that it was financed by the British film company called Film 4. This
okay.
was one of the many reasons why that studio went bankrupt 1 year later.
Jeez. All right.
Completely bankrupt, just out of the game.
I would imagine so.
um, on to more fun bits. Jim Carrey was originally attached and signed on to play Rainbow fucking Randolph.
Ooh.
Now you see how that would have been kind of an interesting turn with how campy the character is. I think Robin Williams did an
Yeah.
amazing job as that character because he is that wacky, zany. He can pull off that manic kind of energy too. But Carey would have done a really great job too, I think, at this. But he dropped out to actually film The Majestic.
Oh, I haven't seen The Majestic in a long while. I remember me really enjoying it, even though it's kind of, is it like dark-ish? The Majestic?
Kind of. It's a
Kind,
drama. It's a
yeah.
drama.
I need to
It's
rewatch
yeah,
it. I have like a mental note that I really need to rewatch The Majestic.
yeah.
It came up with Screen Fighter a lot in the earlier days.
Yes,
So
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
mental note. All right, sorry, I'm keep
No, that's okay.
derailing you.
That's all right. That other casting mishaps. Hank Azaria was actually originally signed on to actually play the role of Stokes, the executive for Kidnet that Jon Stewart took over after Hank
Oh,
Azaria dropped out.
okay, okay.
So
I can see that. I think it would be a better fit, actually. I
yeah, I think Hank Azaria would
John
have been great.
Stewart. John Stewart is not a great actor. He's a great comedian. Uh, we'll get to
Well,
it. We'll
and
get
it
to
was
it.
also at this time where he was at that almost at the early height of his powers on the Daily Show on Comedy Central. Because this was
2000, is this
right 2000
2003?
when this came
Two.
out. It
No,
was
this is 2002.
2002.
Yeah, just before it went completely
Yeah.
crazy.
And speaking of that, there are certain scenes. There's actually only one, and Danny DeVito made sure of this because he actually went back and edited certain scenes out, but he
Mhm.
couldn't edit this one scene out because it's the scene um, where Rainbow Randolph is dancing on the street. It's like, oh, the rhino is screwed. And it's like, hey, little
Okay.
nipple nibbler, the rhino is a Nazi.
Okay.
It showed one of the Twin Towers because they were
Oh, yeah,
filming this
because they were
prior
filming
to
before.
September 11th.
Yeah,
So
2002 was a weird, like Spider-Man had to reshoot some
so
stuff.
yeah, and there were a lot
I
of
think Friends had issues with it, with their
mhm.
opening intro. That like a lot of
There were
these.
a lot of
Yeah,
different shows at the time that showed like the disclaimer warning saying like this was filmed prior to this
yeah,
date. Like please don't come after us for this.
yeah.
We can't change it
Don't
now.
don't cancel us. Yes.
Yes. Um, the other really funny little casting note was Henry fucking Rollins. Yeah, the punk singer Henry
I
fucking
know who Henry
Rollins
Rollins is. Black
auditioned
Flag.
for the role of Spinner.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's a weird note. It's a weird note.
no.
And
There's a
apparently,
problem with Spinner, by the way. I don't know if you caught it.
yeah, what's that?
There's a problem. He's Italian,
Yeah,
very Italian, but he's supposed
his,
to
and
be
his
a
cousin is
brother
Irish.
of a very Irish mob.
Oh, that's Tommy is his cousin.
Oh, well, still he's wearing like a
Still, it's
green
like
green jacket.
jacket. Well,
S-
that and also they play the Notre Dame fight song
Yes,
at
I
one point in
did
time
notice
where it's
that.
like
I
Okay.
did. All right.
Yeah. Yep. The only other really fun notes about this are like little tiny side segments. The original Smoochy costume was supposed to be orange. It was changed a little bit afterward. There are the other thing too. I could say this one later, but it's easier to say it now. The mixture of the condiments that Sheldon puts on his hot dog after Nora picks him up from the methadone clinic.
The black shit.
Yeah, Edward
Okay.
Norton made that himself.
Yeah, I have a real problem with with the messaging. The messaging was a problem for me.
It was very like even then it was like, oh, gluten-free buns too. I'm gonna get you on gluten-free buns.
Yeah. All right, let's start deep diving into this shit. So, again, we're not going to go through every single scene in this movie. We're going to blitz through and I
Yep.
want to concentrate more on the messaging, on what they was trying to tell us rather than every single bit.
Okay.
So,
I said the
bear with
only
me,
little
guys.
I said the only little side notes I'll bring up just stuff that was all the other behind the scene stuff
Yeah, no worries.
when I
Yeah,
need to say.
if I go
Um,
over, I'll go back. Don't worry.
yeah,
We tend to do this. We
I
don't go
know, I know,
all everything. All right,
I know,
cool.
I know. I
Uh,
was gonna
I,
say
I will
the
start
first, yeah, good,
first scene, the campy stuff. Yeah. I know you
yes,
wanted to talk about this, the campy stuff. This the introduction. It literally you have the first scene is some guy in like there's a silhouette of a rhino getting kicked and basically maybe killed. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
that's
shot in the head
definitely
twice, yeah,
Smoochy. That's
yeah,
that's literally in the poster. So that's your baseline start. And then you see this campy kids show run by not like Robin Williams. And I was like, this is giving me Mrs. Doubtfire, like, that the end of Mrs. Doubtfire, she gets her own show. So this is
yes,
not really Mrs. Doubtfire. This is Daniel, the dad in Mrs.
which
Doubtfire,
is
getting
yeah,
his like campy show. And I was like,
which
okay.
is really funny too is that Robin Williams and the head of the Parade of Hope, the charity, they work
Mhm.
together on Mrs. Doubtfire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot
Yeah.
he's in this. And I was like, oh, there's like even deeper connections to Mrs. Doubtfire that I haven't even considered.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we get this,
I was gonna say
and
from the beginning too, you already get the messaging that they're sending to kids. Because even in the segment there, they're the giant coins with dollar bills everywhere.
yes, and then it cuts to when it goes to commercials. It goes to the first inklings of the internet kind of the let's say the coefficiency or the collaboration between the regular marketing and the internet
Internet
marketing, which
marketing,
is
yes.
literally the .com burst a year and a half earlier
Prior
than
to that,
we
yep.
thought prior to that. So it's already there, the internet marketing, and we're gonna discuss this a lot. The the behind the scenes of a TV show, especially marketed to kids, that it builds on the kids' desire to have some sort of figure to admire or whatever and to imitate. And that becomes so cynical of a commodity that
Yes.
in a lot of like it comes up in Dogma as well, where they have Mubi, the golden calf, the right to it's so fucking it
Well, that
disturbed me
and
to
again,
no end.
also, come on.
Buddy Christ, dude. Yes, it's like turning everything into a sellable commodity. And now we grew up in the 80s.
Yes.
We grew up with shows that you wouldn't expect to have. Oh, this is a show that was like thought up from nothing to sell you a toy. He-Man was like that. Thundercats was like that. Transformers was like that. A lot of these show, like fucking Black Star, is a show that nobody watched. You watched it. I watched it like
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon cartoon or Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Black Star was a terrible show, yet it sold a lot of fucking gear.
Yeah, it's a lot of toys. That's what it did. And what one thing that's really funny with that is the marketing segment. I don't know if you saw all the things that were being sold there. One of them was Rainbow Randolph candy cigarettes.
Yes, it is right there.
Yes, there is. There's also the Rainbow Randolph. You can see it, the fruit flavored drink.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the spaghetti that literally has it marketed that says now contains real meat.
Yes. Yes. It's really hard to stop it exactly at that point, but yes. By the way, I'm not sure because it was in the States.
Yeah.
When I grew up, when I was about 8 or 7 or 8, when we went to there's like there were kiosks who sold a lot of like candy and everything else. We had a packet of smokes that inside
Oh yeah.
is literally it's either sticks of gum or
Mhm.
sticks of chocolate, but
Yeah.
it sold as a packet of smokes.
Yeah, we had candy cigarettes that looked like Lucky Strikes.
Yeah,
They looked
exactly.
like a pack of Lucky Strikes.
Exactly like that. And
But to that note too, what said like how this was kind of on the cusp there, where the internet was really becoming a thing, where buying things on the internet became more and more and more the norm. It's even referenced in there at the end of his the little spiel of they show all the products, where
yeah.
Rainbow Reynolds is like, "Hey, log on. It's not free."
Yes. Yes. And I was like, hmm. So the whole point, and it really does happen super
Oh,
fast.
it's
You get
lightning
to
quick.
see
The downfall of Rainbow Randolph is just like
it's
boom.
like you get introduced to Rainbow Randolph, and then immediately you see him like getting arrested by the FBI because he was doing some shady shit, like doing like private shows, all that stuff, taking that kind of thing. And automatically you see the corporation spring into action,
Action.
disavowing, and all we need is like squeaky clean thing. That's
Squeaky
all.
fucking clean.
Yeah. And I was like,
And,
oh, that's
do you know?
mega
Do you know what's really?
Disney vibes. And I was like,
Yeah. But do you know what's really funny about that is that? Do you know where they were when he got arrested?
no.
Patsy's bar.
Is that like a gangster bar?
No, Patsy.
Oh, he's a patsy. Okay, I get it. I get it. Like immediately, there's the guy, the fucking John Stewart, who's
That's Stokes. Yeah.
Stokes.
Just call him Stokes. Yeah.
He's a like let's say a VP of.
Yeah.
He's in charge of the show. He's
Programming,
in charge of
essentially.
that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you get the people from high above, like all the
board of directors.
I hate to say it. They're all old men. I don't want to say white. They're all old men, but there's one woman in there.
Yes.
And she's also with gray hair. So they're all old. So they don't really get
They're out of touch. Yeah.
They're out of touch.
Out of touch.
That's the whole point. I don't care, colors, whatever. But they're completely out of touch. All they want is to not deal with shit. We don't want to deal with fucking parents writing us. We don't want anything. We just want a wholesome character. We want a Barney.
Well, the line that he says at the end, and most importantly, squeaky fucking clean.
Yes, and they do get a squeaky clean character, and I like the fact that they do like a montages of where they they literally tear down the set.
They start with one guy too that they already that comes back at the end when they're having that little montage before that too, where they're talking about all the different characters, like Buggy Ding Dong, heroin junkie, this guy, wife beater. It's like
yeah. And of course, the
So, like,
assistant,
yes, Nora.
Catherine Kinnear, finds this guy who's a wholesome guy, Ed Norton, finds this whole in a methadone clinic,
Clinic. Yep.
trying to entertain the people. He already has a rudimentary Smoochy character
Mhm.
of a rhino, and she picks him up. She tells him, "We want." We want to cast you as this and this and this, and you'll have free reign. And she
Well, no,
literally
not free
sweet
reign.
no,
She
she
just
sweet talks him into that role of taking a job at Kidsnet.
no. She doesn't have to even sell him on it at all. He is on board 100% from the get go because it's
Yeah,
like, oh, Kidnet. Wait, you work for fucking Kidnet? Well, not. He wouldn't say the F word, obviously, because it's
yeah,
Sheldon, for Christ's sake.
yeah,
That's very unsmoochy like behavior.
yeah, yeah.
But
And
he's immediately on board. Like, it just
and like I said, a lot of like the pacing at the start of the movie is super quick,
lightning,
like
lightning quick.
super
It
quick.
has them
So
setting it up there, and then it even cuts to the backstage where they're setting up. They have them measured, and they're already going through like the different kind of um, the actual costume design. And again, there's actually a little side nod to what I mentioned before, how the original costume was orange. He
yeah.
actually shakes his head at the color.
Oh, okay. And not only that, they also he also talks to I don't know the name of the actor, but
Angelo, yes,
I keep
yes. They're
calling
just
him Mickey because he's Mickey from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. No, this character's name's Angelo, or
Yeah,
Rainbow Randolph always calls him Angie. But yeah, but
Angie.
he says right there, he goes, "Well, I would just want to say thank you. I really appreciated your work as you did as a Crinkle Kid, and I really am glad that to have you on board." And it's like, a job's a job.
Yeah, which also kind of tells you, well, you know, it's a
They don't
kid show,
care.
but they don't care. They don't care. It's fucking actors, man. Fuck them.
And then what I love too is this is actually the next scene that comes up is where Rainbow Randolph and Stokes are in the car together. And you notice that this was essentially the Goodfellas scene where Paulie says goodbye?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I don't want
Clear
to know you.
homage.
I don't want to know you. I don't want to
Yeah.
see you. And the only thing that made me happy is for a brief moment we got to see Robin Williams's humor while he was completely mad,
Yes.
where he gives him the goodie bag and the goodie bag had lotion, and
He was like,
he tells him, you know what you can do with your
hey,
lotion, jerk
jerk
off.
off.
He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, well, hello, welcome Robin Williams to this movie,
And
because you won't
what's
be able to
what's
see Robin Williams in this movie at all. I mean, you
what's
can
really funny
technically
too
see
is
him, but not really.
this is right before his one of his last live big stand up performances, because that was in the summer of 2002. That was
Mhm.
him on Broadway, and he makes
Oh,
reference to this movie in in that show. And there
I
was actually
remember.
Jon Stewart actually brought it up during one of his um, when they mentioned him when he hosted the Oscars that one year, where he goes, "Yeah, and I and he also was in Death to Smoochy. Go rent it."
Yeah, dude, that's what happens in Hollywood when when people know when stuff is bad. If you're a good comedian, you're gonna laugh at yourself. You're gonna laugh at you.
Yes.
You have to. Now, the
Yeah.
next thing I want to touch upon, of course, is the continuation of, and again, it happens super fast. It is literally, we're 16 minutes into this movie, and we already have Sheldon, Ed Norton's character, trying to bring his kind of, I'm a vegan. I want kids to not eat too much sugar, and
Sugar.
he's
Yeah.
sitting around in a marketing table where they literally think of all the ways to
To
fucking get
sell shit.
kids to buy stupid shit and sugary drinks, sugary cereal, all that stuff. Like this is peak
And
corporate America.
the line where well, the part where Nora throws the frisbee at
Yeah.
Sheldon and it bounces off the wall and goes out the door. That's actually a callback to a shot that Danny DeVito had in a prior film.
Oh. Okay.
Almost kind of, it's very very reminiscent of, like, as soon as you see it, you go, oh, I get the okay, I get where he went there with that shot.
Speaking of Danny DeVito, the next kind of scene where Ed Norton feels
Burke,
like he's
yeah,
down and out, or Sheldon feels like he's down and out. He's being approached by Burke, the agent. That's the closest thing. He's literally sitting across from him, and Burke knows what pressure points to press in order to get Sheldon to do kind of his bidding. Because the most important thing he tells him here, at least for me, is the fact that you want to do your like your vegan stuff or your health stuff. You need to have me to press to be more famous, and then you'll get the money, and then you'll get the power, and then you can do whatever you want,
what, yeah,
right? And that's kind of true. I was like,
oh
oh, the
yeah,
man is speaking truth to right. As
yeah,
soon as you have an agent, you can get cut a contract
you can
that
get
guarantee
leverage.
guarantees you money,
Yeah,
and you get the power, the leverage, and then you can do whatever you want. You can like be all that. But he really doesn't want him. Like Burke is literally part of I would say the Hollywood machine, or the whatever entertainment machine that
yes,
keeps everything on the tracks to literally sell you shit.
hmm,
No, I'm not that anti-capitalist, but in certain ways, I was like, that's a bit much.
yeah.
That's a bit much. Uh, moving ahead, moving ahead, moving ahead.
You know what's
Yeah,
next?
Randolph.
It's the cookie scene.
It's the cookie scene. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes. This is where they basically took the training wheels off and just let Robin Williams have at it. So
Yes.
basically, Randolph goes in and he exchanges the cookies for the ones that he made. Obviously, you see what they are.
Yes. It's a
And
rocky
he
chip.
is, but he's laying down above, so he's got a mirror, so he's watching it from above. And
Yeah.
his spiel while he's like, "Give him a cookie, give him a cookie." He says,
Yeah.
and he sees that song, a song like, "And no vegetable oil." Was it something with a fruit juice for an energy boost?
Yeah. Yeah.
Robin Williams just goes, "Whatever, you fucking peasant."
Yeah. Cuz Robin Williams, or Randolph, he wants to come back. He wants to be a part of the machine. He doesn't really care, and he doesn't really realize throughout the movie that he did anything wrong. And the problem is, at the end of the day, he totally get what he wants, even though he went completely crazy.
Oh yeah.
Which, didn't sit well with me.
Well, and then there was at the end, it's a rocket ship. It's a rocket ship, and then just runs out there and he goes, "No, it's not. It's a cock, a
Yeah.
pain in the ass." Well, I was like, "It's Mr. Jiggle Daddy. It's made from dildo."
And I was like,
It's like they just
Robin
let
Williams
Mr.
is back
Williams go.
again.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like, "Yep, okay, go ahead, Robin, have at it."
All right. Cool. We're going to stop here. And Saf, thank you for reminding me segment. I
Yes.
know. I can see. I have a little clock here. I can see what time it is. Please. Thank you. All right. We're going to do our first segment of the day, which is called Missing Marquee. Missing Marquee is very, very simple. We take 10 posters, have their text written off, we present them, and let Oh My Feelings and the chat guess which movie this is. Bam. There we go.
Is that Hotel Rwanda?
It is Hotel Rwanda.
Is that Night of the Living Dead?
It is not Night of the Living Dead. It is a night of something. Saf's like, pass. Yeah, no idea.
Nah.
Right? It is the Night of the Creeps.
Oh.
Right off the bat, this is not Glory. Glory we had last week.
I know. I do not know this one. Is that Hugh Jackman?
That is not Hugh Jackman. I don't know the name of the actor. The other one is Patrick Swayze.
Swayze, obviously.
You know the
Is that
actor?
just North versus South?
This is North versus South, correct?
Okay. Yeah, okay. That a Rampage?
Yes, a movie that should not have been made.
Yeah.
I've seen only the ending of it, like the last 15 minutes. It's terrible.
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
Sling Blade.
Sling Blade, correct.
That's Billy Bob Thornton, yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton.
The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Tomb Raider.
No, this is the titless Tomb Raider. I had to put...
Fuck you, you asshole. You had to put a Bond film in there, didn't you?
I had to put a Bond film. Well, we don't have a guest, so why not?
Oh, God. I don't know. I did not know that. Is that Terry Hatcher?
That is Terry Hatcher.
I did not know Terry Hatcher was a Bond girl.
Technically naked in this, by the way.
Oh.
It is
Tomorrow
Never Dies.
Wait, so I have to ask, was Seinfeld right? Were they spectacular?
No, there's no nudity in Bond. There is zero nudity in Bond films. No, it's not Die Another Day. It is Tomorrow Never Dies. Die Another Day is with Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Hi, DK Royce, by the way.
It's ever the Bond movie, Saf. It doesn't count.
I found a couple more Bond movies. I'm not sure I'm going to put them in, though.
Ass. I was, no, North versus South. I was like, I know I've seen that before, but Night of the Creeps I have not seen in, I can't even tell you how long.
Yeah. I remember the poster. I'm guessing I haven't watched it, but you know me, I'm not really like, I'm not into horror and slasher films. Like October is dedicated to you, basically.
We're gonna have fun this October though, because you've never seen Reanimator. Oops, spoiler.
Spoiler, I have. A long time ago.
Oh, you have?
I have. Reanimator I did see. It's like The Thing I did see with Kurt Russell, John Carpenter. Fucking phenomenal. Thank you, Alex, thank you. It is a happy anniversary. It is.
I believe is that Fisty? I think that might be Fisty.
Fisty, if it's not you can literally say yes. Or F in the chat or whatever you want. Spinner. All right. So Smoochy goes to
Smoochy. Sheldon. Just say Sheldon.
Sheldon and Burke are sitting in a restaurant talking about the
Burke
thing.
gives him a gun.
Yeah. And Burke is like, oh, this is for protection. I was like, what? I don't need this. And of course, a gun that is presented in the first act will come at the third act.
At the end,
well.
yes. Yeah.
And it's very on the nose. Thank you, Fisty. Thank you. Enjoy the show. All right, cool. So we get to meet Spinner, who is, like I said, very, very Italian in a very, very Irish like setting. And I was like, Something here
Hey, he's
smells
also an
incorrect.
ambassador of a sport. He just happens to have the gentle disposition of a 5-year-old.
Yes, he's mentally able.
Because what did he
And
say? You don't go 81 and 57 without being all there.
exactly. And the thing is, the actor, was he in Sopranos?
I think he was.
Right? I haven't seen a lot of like Sopranos. I'm not a huge fan. I do remember him being on the show. I think he owned the Bada Bing. He's the owner of the Bada Bing restaurant.
I would have
Chat,
to look that up.
whoever's in the chat or in the comment section, if you're watching this on VOD, just tell us if
Put
that's
him
the
there.
guy from Bada, because I'm stupid and lazy and I don't want to research a lot because I have a lot on my plate. So if that's the guy from the Bada Bing, awesome. Just give me a notice. I'll probably do it after the show. It doesn't matter. All right, so you get to meet Spinner and his cousin, kind of
Tommy.
Tommy, who is a badass bitch. Who
Oh yeah.
literally a badass bitch. She comes to Sheldon and is like, "Oh, just we'll put him in the show and we'll take care of you."
Well, it's right before this is when it shows Sheldon going into the office now that he's the executive producer and he has all of these rights now.
Yeah,
And
it's right
there's that
before that.
there's
It's
that
right before that.
confrontation between him and Nora where Nora still believes that he's absolutely full of shit because she's been down this role before, this
Yeah,
this road before with different guys in this role. So yeah.
yeah. And
So
you
then they
do
had
get,
the conversation with Tommy where they're like, "Yep, well, yeah, we have a thing showing up. So yeah, we could put him in the show. Like, you're a good boy, Sheldon. Don't worry, you're welcome at our place anytime."
yeah.
And as soon
Yeah.
as they leave, Nora comes in and it's like, "Oh wow, it didn't take you too long to sell out, did it? The ice show." Now, what I told you before about the newspaper, this is the blink and you'll miss it thing.
Okay.
So when it's thrown at him, there's a pan zoom on the paper itself. On the opposite side of the paper, there are several paragraphs, and Danny DeVito wrote this in there with a random picture on the top there. And it just says, the stories that people come up with are also very entertaining. Create different articles every day. I'm sure it's much easier when you have a topic to write about, which I currently do not. The serial killer pictured above is, in fact, not really a serial killer. He or she is probably a friend of someone who let us use their photo.
Okay. Now, I don't know if maybe I have a different copy, but this is the only shot of the paper I see. He doesn't flip it.
I think you have a different version of it. Yeah, you do.
I didn't. He doesn't flip it. Literally, he reads it and then it cuts to another scene.
No, you don't have it. You don't have the extended cut then. Okay.
No, I don't. That's
Never mind
the
then.
regular one. The regular one.
It's a funny little side gag, but never mind.
The thing is about Spinner, and we can move a little bit forward, is they gave him to be on the band, but he has zero rhythm, and everybody noticed
Duh,
that he has zero rhythm.
duh,
Yeah.
duh, duh.
But they still placate him and they still kind of, you know,
Well, then, and once it's
it goes
done,
over. Yeah.
if Smoochy looks at the camera like, that was fun in an awkward sort of way.
Yeah.
All right, kids, let's do the jiggy ziggy.
And of course, Harvey Firestein.
Steen. Yes.
He does appear a little bit earlier talking to Burke, but Sheldon kind of decides not to do the ice show because it's too much marketing. It's too much of a hassle. Nobody wants to listen to him, so he's not going to do the show. So they decide to lean on him physically. So Mr. Harvey Firestein kind of pulls his jacket. It's like, oh, you see this gun? You're going to get into this car. Because he pulls up to next to him. It's like, oh, get into the car. It's like, no, I'll take a cab. It's like, no, you go into this car now.
Was it? No, that was with Stokes. It wasn't with Burke.
No.
Burke he talks to later. Because Stokes, it was Jon Stewart's character.
That doesn't really matter. He talks to.
No, but what he says is like, oh, you better get the Rhino in line, or he's going to test the pH balance of the East River.
Yeah, that's the thing. Where,
yeah.
Interesting. They don't present themselves as mob, but
they're a children's charity.
They're a children's charity. Yeah,
they build children's hospitals.
And that's the whole
Everyone's skimming out the top, though.
Yeah. And of course, the relationship between Sheldon and Nora kind of developed because she treats him at the start like every other person that was on the show. So Randolph, and of course later on we get it that every single person that was on the show, she had a relationship with. And there is a shot after the show, with the first show with Spinner, where she kind of looks through the mirror into his dressing room, and he takes his shirt off, and she's like, because he's like lean, thin, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Saf. Yeah, so he was.
Thank you, Saf. Yeah.
He was in The Sopranos, yep.
He was in The Sopranos. I said, I think he was actually the guy who owned the Bada Bing restaurant. But
if you could, Meth, if you could get to the point where they are right in front of like the fireplace with the mantle, where they have the photo of the Rhino, where they talking about the Harry the Hippo.
I got you, dude. Yeah. I got you.
So
yes,
that photo Edward Norton actually owns, and it's in his house.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Rains. Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
He wanted a piece of memorabilia for this.
Okay. So he brought this to the movie? Or
no, he got it from the set.
Oh, he got it from the set?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All so right. They have that little
spat, I would say. Yeah.
Well, no, they basically kind of are they're really being in simpatico on their past childhood and what their influences on how all of these characters really influenced them and what they meant to them, because she mentions that she did that dance for her first communion.
Yeah.
And right as they're about to kiss, she goes, "Nah, I gotta go." Yeah, because she sees like she's going down the same path that she's been down how many times before.
Yeah. And then we get the start of the mini downfall of Smoochy, or Sheldon, I would say, where Randolph is like, oh, I know how I'm going to get him. And he calls him and tells him, well, we want you to do like this charity thing. And then and Sheldon's like, yeah, I'll do it. And they drive around in the car. And
do you know how honestly naive and sweet Sheldon is? The fact that this man has changed his accent multiple times from Scottish to Australian. And then he flat out, when he gets angry, he drops his accent completely.
Yeah.
And you notice too, in the background, there are multiple little lines where obviously Rainbow Randolph is dealing with his sexuality, because he mentioned this was like, oh yeah, he's probably gay too.
Yeah. Oh, I got that.
About Rainbow, yeah, because this comes up a lot.
I know, and it's like, projection much? Yeah, yes, I think so. Methinks the cookie jar has been touched.
Too much, yes. But what Sheldon says about him is the fact that he's like, oh no, I don't wish any ill will on him. I think he's dealing with some of his personal demons, and I think he really needs to get his life in order. I think he has some issues with substance abuse, particularly alcohol, and I think he has a lot of anger issues. It's like, don't you take a particular glee on spitting on his proverbial grave?
And I was like, I think Sheldon is the only character that has almost zero development because he's the same guy
Same.
from the start till the finish. And it drove me crazy because all these, all this craziness is going around you and it doesn't change you at all. Literally nothing changes you. He is like so forgiving and so understanding, so much so that at the end of it, he actually joins, like he allows Randolph to join his show. It, it boggles my mind. It's like,
Well,
oh,
I think there you're kind of right in one way, but I think you're wrong in another because there is some growth and arc in his character, but it's kind of like a parabolic scale where it goes up and then just poof, crashes back down. Because during at the end where he peaks, where he even shows flashes of that internal anger later, which we're going to get to, and then
yeah.
especially near the end, but where he has that final snap where it brings him back to reality, where it's like, oh no, I am this person and I'm not going to, just change who I am or allow these people to change who I am as a person. So I think in a way, yes, you're right, but in a way I think you're wrong because there is growth on his behalf.
Mm.
It's just, it goes one way and then it just crashes down. But anyway,
Because you know what? When I think about it, a lot of the characters don't have a lot of character growth.
no,
Randolph is basically the same as well. Yes, there is the moment where Sheldon kind of snaps and he's on the brink of doing something out of character, but then he gets pulled back by the
yeah,
other characters and himself.
yeah.
Uh,
I think the only character that actually had any kind of growth whatsoever would actually be Rainbow Randolph.
I'm not
Because
sure. I'm
because
not sure.
at the end,
Maybe there's
he's the one who saves.
Well,
Smoochy.
he saves Smoochy, I guess. But
For all intents and
when
purposes, like if not, he would have been killed.
yes, but also it brings him back to his starting point where he started as Rainbow Randolph and he finished as Rainbow Randolph.
But we don't know the other side
Maybe a
of that though.
redemption arc.
Redemption arc, yeah.
Redemption arc. Maybe.
So maybe he's going back and maybe he's doing it actually legit this time. But anyway, what's
can we
really
bring
funny,
down the spot and have the
kill the spot
light?
and bring up the house lights?
The
No,
house
but
lights.
before that though was Robin Williams again nails these little subtle lines in between the dialogue there.
Yeah.
Because as there's like, wow, I've never performed at a tractor warehouse before. Thanks, Sheldon. And as they're going up there, she goes, you know what I always say? Williams' line is so perfect. Something inane, I'm sure. What was that? Oh, nothing. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah. I didn't catch the Alvida Zane at first when I edited everything. It's like, oh, that's right. Because I was sitting there watching this for the first time, and not first time ever, but rewatching it, and I was like, it's like a lot of these bits, I was kind of checked out.
No, I got you. That's all right.
A lot of these subtle, I noticed the accent change, but I didn't notice the subtle lines where you could have said, "Oh, that's why."
Yeah.
So, I guess right. So Smoochy has a bad turn of events, and the guy from KidsNet was like, "I wanted squeaky clean."
No, as from here at KidNet, as far as we're concerned, the Rhino is extinct. The time slot will be filled with cartoons.
Yeah. Which expected as much. And of course, we get to see Rainbow Randolph try not only to get his job back, and
he does have that dance line that we mentioned before. where
Yeah.
he's dancing in the street and everything.
Yep.
And also it's juxtaposed with Sheldon going to Nora and telling that hey, this is not me. I was set up. It was Kringle, whatever, who set me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the dance.
And it even has the typical like slapstick ending where he dances into a wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's that. But there's also juxtaposed with Sheldon actually sitting by himself at the subway on a bench. He's actually eating a hamburger and he's drinking a Pepsi. Where it's like this is supposed to be his low point.
Yeah.
Where you'd have your fallen hero like hitting the bottle or doing hard drugs or something. No, he's eating a hamburger and drinking a Pepsi.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid.
But of course, every time things get out of line, Tommy steps in and
Yes.
literally rescues the day
And
with her.
But it was Nora who brought it up because it's like, wait, did you set him up?
Nora. He went to Nora's apartment, had that
Tried to get her
confrontation,
back, yeah.
and there's that little mini, spark of
And he says that line too because he's like, oh yeah, again he says the same line he said about himself to Sheldon.
Yes.
Is like, oh yeah, he's a rhino. Yeah, he's probably gay too. You should have seen how he's checking me out in the car. It's like,
Yeah.
Wait, did you see him?
Yeah, and it comes up a little bit like after this scene where literally Tommy kicks him around and then he confesses, and it automatically, because sometimes in this movie, like we said, some things become like super lightning fast. Like, oh, Smoochy's been outed. Then then Raymond Randolph kind of confesses. Then he really confesses. Then Smoochy's back on the air, and Rainbow Randolph is being sued. And there's a
Again,
there's a
this
line.
Williams is just hamming it up when he's outside of the courthouse.
Yes.
Somebody touch my ass.
Yeah, somebody touched my ass. Oh, and somebody throws an egg on him. And it's like, oh,
I've been shot. I've been shot. It's salmonella. Super salmonella.
Oh my god, so dumb. It's so on the nose, though. It's so on the nose. It irritated me. I don't know what it is. And then, of course, the triumphant return of Smoochy and him trying to explain to the kids how the turn of events went and how he realizes all the dark forces pushing him from side to side.
Yeah.
But he's doing it in a very kind of, around the fire kind of ghost story type deal.
Yeah. Well, then also he's bringing it kid friendly to allow them to express themselves, but he's showing that side of the inner rage that he's holding on to.
Yeah. And again, he comes to the brink and then, lights up. Let's do the wiggle dance. And everybody does the wiggle dance.
Let's do the jiggy ziggy.
And of course, Rainbow Randolph is very, 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 very annoyed. And he takes it out on Angelo that literally he took him. We didn't say it, but he took him in. Yes. And even Angelo's like, oh, you need to get the fuck out.
You got to go.
You got to go. You got to go. And everybody hates you. You're being sued. I don't want to be associated with you. Get the fuck out. And he throws him out. And it just enrages like Randolph even more. But the thing is,
and it nearly brings him to the brink though, because that after this is where Sheldon has the conversation was like, well, no, I'm actually going to do it the right way because he learned about the Coney Island and methadone clinic that he worked at before.
It's this sit down
shutting down because
of Burke. Yeah,
because of the lack of funding. It's like, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the ice show. But what's going to happen is 50% of the proceeds are going to go to refunding that. He goes, oh, so you're going to keep some of them? Like, oh, no, I'm giving all the rest of the money away.
Yeah.
And Burke is just
literally this face.
Yeah.
You're going to do a what now?
Yeah. He's like, oh, you don't know who you're messing with the Parade of Hope.
And he like Sheldon does know who the Parade of Hope is. He's being naive, but he was in that car and he did see that gun, so he knows
Knows
who is
there's some
actually being with.
ominous threat. Like there, something could really badly happen to him. He's fully aware of this, especially after everything that he's gone through to begin with. Since this whole thing started,
Yeah.
you'd think he would have wisened up a little bit. But then we have the scene where basically Randolph is at the very very bottom of the barrel, and he's basically trying to pull what the monk did in Saigon, which is
Yes.
self-immolation.
And another person not like recently did that as well. I
Yes.
don't remember who the name of the guy, and I don't remember the cause, but he also like put himself to the torch. And the funny bit is he's holding that, that match, and there's a little child that comes to him, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh, right. This isn't that kind of a movie. And they get him to not, he couldn't even do a self-immolation. He couldn't even do that self-immolation. And then he sees there's going to be an ice show.
Well, because one of the he's about to do it, the little girl stops him, and then it's like, oh, the attention's on me now, so now this little girl just helped save me, so maybe I can kind of get back in the good graces. Then one lady just screams out, "Oh my God, it's Smoochy!" And then everybody turns around, and the that little girl's father picks her up and goes, "Come on!"
Yeah. And along the way, we get to see Tommy coming to Sheldon, and she says, "Well, can you give Spinner a
I've got a
different
headache going
role?"
from my head to my arse.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, here comes the punch. And it's like they put Spinner in a matching Smoochy outfit. And he comes up, they give him the his Notre Dame like entrance, and he
Yes.
comes in, he's like, oh, ready to fight, because he's like a boxer. And the first thing he asked,
Moochie.
yeah, is like, Sheldon, this costume is making my nuts itch. And you
The
see
kids are laughing,
Sheldon
and
turn to
everyone's
the
like,
camera and smiles. But it does set up the fact that, okay, like Sheldon knows he's gonna get fucking, something's gonna happen with those with the Pride of Hope, those guys. And of course the two dum-dums come to take care of Smoochy,
Smoochy, and
and
they
all
kill
they take
Moochie.
care of is actually Moochie.
And what's funny is, after he's shot and they leave his body on the side of the street, the Chinese characters in the puddle
Okay.
mean death.
Oh,
It comes up later in the ice show.
okay.
Yeah.
And of course, Harvey Firestein is mad because Smoochy is fuchsia, Moochie is burgundy.
Indeed.
Haven't you studied in school? What? I mean, what? What? Such a dumb line, but it does what it does, I guess.
Yes.
I
So
was like,
that fails. Then Stokes goes to Burke and says, "Yeah, they found his head on the concourse." Firestein's character. That's
oh,
Stokes and Burke. That's when they make the call in to bring in Buggy Ding Dong at the club.
that's right. That's right. Where were we? I think, yeah, Randolph has sort of a reconciliation with Angelo as well.
Yeah,
Like they have that little talk.
Did you bring me lunch? Yeah, chicken and stars.
Yeah, there. I mean, Randolph is pretty much at the very end of
End of
his
his rope. And
last
what's funny
rope.
too is, had it been anything else about Smoochy, I don't know if it would have bothered him so much, but it was the fact that it showed Sheldon with Nora at the
Oh yeah.
funeral.
Oh yeah. And he snaps. It was the last thing. And because it's the last thing, he puts on his Rainbow Randolph coat, which I guess he stole.
Yeah,
And
because
he
he stole when
goes,
he got the cookies.
yeah. And he goes to his penthouse, his former penthouse, and confronts them. And
This is
they,
when when Sheldon finds out about how many mascots Nora has
yeah,
slept
yeah,
with.
exactly. And
Even Wally the whale, there she blows.
the fact,
William's hamming it up this whole time. It's so good.
right, like Rainbow Randolph is, he's so aware of the behind the scenes as much as Sheldon is completely unaware of behind the scenes. This is the scene where you get how naive and how out of touch basically Sheldon is to how in tuned with the, let's call it, with the machine Rainbow Ralph is. He knows what's
Yeah.
going on. He knows what is Nora's angle. He knows what is all the players. But Sheldon, because of his naivete, does bring Rainbow Randolph down. He does bring him down.
Well, there's that, and also I think Sheldon is the one who can really break people down in that way due to his naivete and his perceived kind of almost imbecilic perceived behavior. But also, he's the one who can also cut to the quick so fast, because he, even when they have that conversation with Rainbow Randolph at the end there, when they get the gun from him.
Yeah.
It's like, just kill him. He's like, don't worry, I think you have a lot of issues. And then this comes back to all those previous comments where he goes, yeah, I'm guessing you got also some serious issues with your sexual identity as well.
Yeah. Exactly. And I was like, yeah, that's a bit on the nose here as well.
This he keeps saying, like, Randolph too, from the beginning there, as soon as that kind of bit of almost kind of mental catharsis happens, he is almost completely on the side of Nora and Sheldon. He was like, I'm a wicked man who's done wicked acts. And when he goes to take the gun to the ice show, Nora tells him not to, and Randolph tells him, don't. Again, it's a stupid little bit, but it's funny as hell. Because keep your dignity. He tries to take a sip of tea, and he
Yeah.
spills it. He goes, "Ow, my balls!" It's like,
which is the complete antithesis.
Antithesis. Yeah, I got
Thank you. Thank you. To Sheldon, where he's like squeaky clean again.
Yeah.
And again, it drove me crazy. I don't know what it is. So they go do the ice show, and the entire ice show is about what happened to Sheldon as he got into being a celebrity, I would say,
Mhm.
and what happened with Spinner and the whole downfall and all of that. And it's sort of, they're not singing, right? There's just music,
No,
right? And
there's an
a
opera
little,
singer, but that's it really.
it's
There
a
there are little bits that have vignettes that have different musical themes to them,
yes,
but
but
it's
mostly
not like a
show and
musical
not tell.
itself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
mostly show and not tell, but they do tell you basically the story of the movie you just saw,
Mhm.
right? In
Yeah.
Ice Dance Kitty
Yeah.
show, which we as adults, as we seen the movie, get what all the references were if you paid attention. Well,
Yeah.
hardly, but you get to see
I
all
know.
that along the way. We get to see what was the name of the guy? The shooter?
Buggy Ding Dong. And now
Buggy
I
Ding Dong.
wanted
Buggy Ding Dong. Yeah, 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 yeah.
to
He
stop
also
right there, because there's a juxtaposition there, because there are different scenes prior to that where there's the scene with Burke and Stokes and Buggy setting up the whole thing
yes.
where if he kills Smoochy, he gets his time slot
He
back.
gets Smoochy's time slot. Yeah.
Then Buggy actually goes to Kidnet and talks to Nora.
To
It's like,
Nora. That's what I
what
was
are you
going to
talking
say.
about?
Yeah,
And then
that
he goes
exactly what I was
to
going to say.
then he goes to Angelo's, and this is like Danny DeVito's little writing flair here was fantastic. Where where when Buggy breaks into Angie's apartment, she goes, "Buggy, I thought you cleaned up." "Yeah, I cleaned up. I cleaned up half the poppies in Asia."
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing with Nora is like it's facing your, let's say, sexual past again in the office. It's like, Buggy, what are you doing here? Oh, Nora, I've came to rekindle. It's like, oh, that's exactly what Rainbow Randolph did as seen earlier.
Yeah, and it was
Oh,
actually um it was Rainbow. It was Angie who calls the penthouse to try to warn Sheldon, but Rainbow Randolph is the one who picks up the phone, and so that's when he runs to the theater where it's like, "Hey, you can't go there. It's surrounded by cops, but Buggy's gonna try to kill Smoochy. Like, you
yeah.
gotta do something. Tell somebody." So he decides to go and run there. It's like, you realize that everyone thinks that you're still trying to kill him, right?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, this is going to be setting up like Randolph's arrest as soon as he pops up, but nobody gives a
No,
fuck.
no. In
Nobody gave
fact,
a fuck.
no, in fact, it was like, "Oh my God, it's Rainbow Randolph," and everyone's
Yeah.
he's lining up to sign autographs. It's like, hold on, I gotta go. I gotta save my friend. But it's the limelight that gets him immediately. And once he's back in it, it's just the same thing when the little girl saved his life before he was about to set himself on fire. Whereas he just starts signing autographs.
So along the way in the show itself, you get like this opera kind of thing where
Yes.
Moochie died. He wants to tell the story of Moochie, and you get to see the alley again in
Yep.
ice skate form. Now, I don't remember Chinese written down from top to bottom.
Now,
Isn't it
okay.
from
Now,
side
to
to
do is
side?
you have to get to the point where it actually has the Moochie ice dancer on the ground, and there are symbols that are moving around him in a pan shot
Okay.
overhead.
Okay, let me
It's
get to
yellow.
it.
The text is in yellow.
Okay. Go on. It'll take me a while.
But no,
You,
what's funny is no, that text that's floating over.
you can see it here.
No, it's right there. That's it, right there. But it later it's all around there. That actually literally means dead rhino.
In Chinese.
Yeah.
Our Japanese expert is also a Chinese expert. I'm joking.
It's Mandarin, man. It's not that difficult.
I'll show you difficult later. Anyway, so the thing is with like Buggy Ding Dong is he is so addicted to heroin. He could have literally killed him 7 times over, but he was
He
so
keeps nodding
whacked.
off.
Yeah, he's so whacked out of his head, nodding off. By the way, if you ever seen a heroin addict in the flesh,
And
it's exactly like
do you
that.
know what it reminds me of so much? Like, do you know the comedian Mitch Hedberg?
Yes.
He has a whole bit about that. Where I was like, I used to go to the same comedy shop to see this one guy do stand up. He was such a heroin junkie where he would just start, he'd fall asleep, he'd wake up and keep going mid bit.
Yeah.
Like literally half the bit had passed and he just keeps going. Like, I got to keep going back to see if I can finish this bit. It's riveting.
I think I remember that joke. I think I've seen that joke.
Yep.
Yeah. So Randolph kind of saves the day. But
And he has the
uh,
line of the movie too.
what?
We'll get to it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go
But
ahead.
and he kind of I think Norris says to Sheldon that it was all Burke and Stokes,
Yeah.
and they go out and they literally go after them with that
Yeah.
gun that Burke gave him.
Yep.
Burke
So
gave
right there, that's when the cops pick up Rambo Randolph on there. It's like,
yeah,
so are you okay? The line of the movie coming from Robin Williams, flat
okay.
out. I don't know. I'm fucked up in general, so it's hard to gauge.
Very Robin Williams line. Very. Now, I don't know if you know, with Robin Williams, you never know if it's ad-libbed and then added to the script or the movie, or somebody who knew him wrote it for him. So Danny DeVito might have written it exactly like that.
Yes.
And Robin Williams kind of, oh, this I can work with this, and he like spilled it out. Or it's one of those things that, okay, just give me 5 different lines on how to do this. Like we talked about this on Joaquin Phoenix with Joker, where Todd Phillips told him, well, just go out and give me 5 different way of entering the show, entering the show that he did. And there were like 23 versions or something. We
Yes.
talked
It
about
was.
that.
Yeah, it was
So
absurd.
maybe with Robin, maybe, I don't know, maybe he has some of these lines that have to be exact, and some of them are, I could do it like this. Robin, give me 2 ways, give me 3 ways, give me 4 ways of doing this line, and I'll decide which one I'm going to cut.
Yeah, which is actually really funny that you mentioned that because this was when Carrie dropped out and Robin Williams signed on. Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman, because Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman were married at the time,
Yeah.
were very, very good friends with Robin Williams. And they had actually wanted to work together on a project for many, many years. They just never got the timing right. So this
Mm,
was their first project that they got to work together. That's why he got a lot of free reign because Danny's like, I'm just gonna let Robin ham it up
yeah.
because
So
he's gonna give him gold.
I'm guessing it was Robin, just give me a line, or just Robin, do your thing. And he
Yeah,
gave him range, or just did it on the first take. Who knows? Who
yeah,
knows? It's like, oh, it's
yeah.
like the director's like, oh, that's the line I wanted. Thank you.
And
Move it, cut, print, move on.
the one real sad note before we get to get to Screen Fighter and then the very ending was that Danny DeVito was actually in the process of writing a script and he had Robin Williams in mind when unfortunately what happened.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like 2014 though.
Yeah. And they never got to work together again after
After
this movie.
Smoochy. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Good segue. We're about to finish the movie. Let's do Screen Fighter.
Some levity.
Round 1. Fight.
You said some levity to the show. Yes, some levity to the
Yes.
show. Right, a Screen Fighter for the uninitiated. We take 2 movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. There's no discernible difference between the two. Both of them good, both of them bad. We fall to our criteria, which is Friday evening, Saturday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with their significant other. We got 2 movies. Which one will we pop in? The Land Before Time or The Game? 2 very, very different movies.
Different movies, yes.
Come on. There's no guess.
Given the fact that Saf has been very, very condescending, I want to say Land Before Time just to be a dick, but no, it's the game.
It's the game for me as well. It's the game for me as well. It's a good animated movie, though. Big Fish, haven't seen it in a long while, or The Devil's Advocate.
I'm a fan of man.
You're a fan of man. Saf, any takes on that? DK Royce, Fisty, Reigns, go right ahead. You haven't seen either? Big Fish is a weird movie. It's
It is.
a weird movie. Artsy movie. It's not bad. It's just, for me, I have to be in the mood to watch Big Fish. It's going to be Devil's Advocate for me. Home Alone or Wolf?
Ooh,
Haven't
that's a
seen Wolf in a long while.
that's a great werewolf film too.
It's a good werewolf film. Bit of a different angle on the werewolf film as well.
And what's really funny too is both of them murder people.
Oh, stop. Saf says Home Alone.
Kevin McAllister is a menace. He's murdered people.
Home Alone. Big Truck. Is there any competition, by the way?
Yeah. Come on.
No. Silence of the Lambs or Deep Blue Sea?
A
Any
motherfucking shark ate me.
No competition. Spider-Man 3 or Inside Out? That's a Pixar movie. I have seen it. I know
Now-
people love it. I do not.
I think you're going to be mad at me because I have not seen Inside Out.
That's okay. Stuart Little or Spider-Man 3? Is it Spider-Man 3 for you?
No. I'd rather watch Stuart Little.
Oh, Saf said Stuart Little as well. Oh, I don't like Stuart Little at all. I say Spider-Man 3. Come on, chat.
Hey, we've got 3 votes for Stuart Little.
Even DK Royce. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Super Troopers or Ratatouille? Not a big fan of either of them.
While I did enjoy Ratatouille, I thought Super Troopers was the breakout for Everything Broken Lizard. So I have to go Super Troopers.
All right. Saf says Ratatouille. I think the crowd is going to go Ratatouille as well. I don't understand the hoopla on that movie. Super Troopers is not a good film.
Oh, no.
It is.
It's by our
dumb.
criteria.
It's
on a Friday night, you could turn it on and
it's a dumb
that's funny.
fucking
It's dumb.
comedy. I just don't understand the hoopla. I really don't. Ooh, Jess Stone, Thin Ice. Haven't seen it.
Nobody's seen that movie.
The Man on the Moon or 28 Days Later. Man on the Moon is the Jim Carrey biopic. That's a really weird. I like this poster a lot.
Yeah, he went. Well, that's just Andy Kaufman. Right
That's
there.
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, but that's when Carrey went full method.
Oh yeah,
and people hated him on set.
Yeah. Jim Carrey is a horrible actor? I don't think so.
I don't think he's a terrible actor. I think he's a pretty good actor.
I think, he just goes a step too far sometimes, and he might not get back every single time. I would go Man on the Moon.
I would too.
I even love the soundtrack. Fucking REM. Killed it. Evolution or Cool Runnings, where they put 4 Jamaicans on a bobsled. They're both super ridiculous. Go ahead. You go first.
Wow,
that's going to be our last pairing. That's going
to be I like David Duchovny. I like Orlando Jones. I like Sean William Scott. Cool Runnings had fucking John Candy in it. It's one of John Candy's last films. It's Cool Runnings.
I think it's his last one.
No.
What did he do
Wagons,
after this?
Wagons East or something like that. John C. McGinley was in it. It's about them on the Oregon Trail.
Okay.
That was his last film that he did.
Okay. Then I haven't seen it. To me, this is his last film. Cool Runnings in the chat all the way. Yeah. I'm going to go Evolution, but I'll go.
Can you believe it? Jamaica the Pup 15.
Oh shit! The next one is
One.
Wrath of Khan versus Sideways. I'll
Now
go with
that's a
Wrath
good
of.
debate.
You know what? Fuck it. We'll leave it in because
Okay, hey, it's the 1 year anniversary. Let's do it.
it's a 1 year anniversary. Fuck it. Wrath of Khan. I've seen Wrath of Khan this week. It's honestly, it has all the props ever. The thing with this is it will have to fall on our criteria because Sideways is very, very good, but in a whole different way,
Oh yeah.
in a whole different angle. They're so far apart is fucking amazing. You can't really compare the two, really. You would have to fall on our criteria, and that means it's going to be Wrath of Khan. At least for me.
For you? Yeah. I would have to go with Sideways. I think it's a goddamn travesty that Paul Giamatti did not win the Oscar for that movie.
I agree.
Fucking love that movie.
I agree.
So we're
know
split
what?
50-50.
We're going to be split 50-50 on this, on our anniversary show.
Yep.
And not have a decision. I would literally, I'm not going to even pick one. I just pressed all movies where it scrambles everything. So there was no choice made. No choice made.
Nope. All right.
So back to the death or the life of Burke, or the death of Burke, whatever you want to say. So this is the point where we said Sheldon is literally on the brink. He has the gun that Burke got him pointed at Burke and Stokes, and Nora has the gun that Randolph had.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Doesn't really matter, but and he gets to the edge where he wants to pull the trigger and he's justified in pulling the trigger. But at the very last moment, Tommy steps in and he's like, this is not a job for you. This is not a job for normies. This is a job for us felons. Right?
Well, what she says is don't sell your soul. Don't degrade yourself for this piece of shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, that kind of sets him apart from every other guy who was at that job. Randolph and Bucky, not Bucky, fucking Buggy. Yeah. And all the rest, Wally the Whale, all those guys. And that kind of brings him back to the naive Sheldon. Because he's not, even here, he's losing his naivete, but because he's being pulled back, it's not really pronounced. That's why you said that is growth. I think it's a regression, and he's still the same. He's still the same guy who sang at that smack fucking methadone clinic.
Yeah. That's fair, but then I think the last bit there is when because Tommy's boys already grabbed Stokes.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart's character at the end there when one of it was Roy throws him against Burke and Tommy looks at him and was like, so have you boys ever traveled together?
Yeah. There.
Yeah.
There. Exactly there. And that kind of finished the thing. All that's left is literally have Angelo call for the reunion, and we get to see
Smoochy the Rhino and Rainbow Randolph and
a close. Yeah, we'll leave with this picture. Technically, there's Sheldon and Randolph kind of dancing together.
Just the ice skating scene.
The ice skating and the whatever. And that kind of ends the thing.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie. Yep.
I know we kind of blew through it, partly because I didn't like it, and partly because there's not a lot going on. A lot of the action, a lot of the stuff is happening super, super fast. Like there's a lot of not really montages, but yeah, montages. So going back to the start, when Sheldon gets the job, there's the getting the costume montage and getting the set montage. And when Randolph gets fired, everything is taken down. When
Tearing down the
Smoochy
sets,
gets
yeah.
fired, everything's taken down and then
Yeah.
brought back up. Every time we're back on the thing, a lot of the action happens really, really fast, and you get dumps of information along the way to kind of progress the story. And that's about it.
And I think, look, and again, I think at the very end of it, this is really, as we really, really have pretty much discussed in length already, this is more of a redemption story for Rainbow Randolph
Yeah,
than
for
anything
sure.
else.
For sure. Right. Let's do a quick sum up. I didn't like this movie. I understand why it bombed. I understand why people didn't get it. It's a movie
Yeah.
that on the face of it, you really don't have to think, but on the whole, you do have to think about all the different, like, the meanings of, oh, it's a sort of a critique on the whole kind of behind the kids stuff, where it's really can be super predatory. It's a lot of critique on that, but also a critique on how those actors, I would say, that kids look up to, behind the scenes, they're flawed humans like we all are, basically. And what happens when you put a really naive, principled person that the network want to have that person, but it also kind of puts a little, peg in the, takes the grease out of the wheels and shows you how the machine really works.
Yeah.
So they want him there, but they don't really want him there. They just want him there as an image, not as a real guy that pushes real things.
Yeah, what they want a figurehead. That's all they wanted. That's it. But also, I think that this movie bombed in particular because it had the very unfortunate set of circumstances of occurring and being released after what happened on September 11th.
Maybe.
No one was in the mood for a black comedy at that point in time. Morbid humor was not what was really needed at the time. So you could see how that would just really subvert anything, any expectations you would want out of the film.
Yeah, I think so. All right, cool. Anything else?
No,
was it really
I was gonna say,
was it really a Robin Williams movie?
Oh, most definitely. With all the sidebars, the little bit of affectations, the impersonations, him hamming it up and chewing scenery the way he does in certain scenes. Yeah, this was a Robin Williams film.
I thought after watching it, my immediate reaction is, this is an Ed Norton movie, not a Robin Williams movie. But because Robin Williams' character has the only redemption arc in it, and the rest of the characters, like I said, are very static.
Well, you could say that, but and Nora also has a change too. Because Nora becomes not so jaded anymore and is willing to actually fall in love with Sheldon at the end. And let her guard down.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't be convinced of that, but we can agree. Okay. We can agree to disagree.
Disagree.
That's what we love in this show.
Yep.
So, especially when we disagree with Saf, because fuck him.
Well, he's always wrong. It's fine.
Yeah, he's wrong. We can agree that he's wrong. All right. Yeah. Before we end the show and go into our anniversary bit, let's end up on a high note and show you the short version of Death to Smoochy. It's actually a short long.
Okay, but here we go. The short version.
Wait. No, wait. Damn it. God damn it. Fucking shit. All right, short
49
version
episodes,
of
1 year, still getting it wrong.
short version of Death to Smoochy.
Online for you at rainbowrandolph.com.
FBI, you're under arrest.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Mopes. This is Nora Wells.
I'm
from
just kidding.
Kidna-
It's an answering machine.
It's about doing good work. Having integrity.
I like it. You know what to do with a hand lotion, jerk off.
Your job is just to smile and nod your head.
Once you get the money, you get the power. Once you get the power, you can have Smoochy walk out there with a dildo strapped to his head if you want. Because I am not your puppet.
Since when? Now get your spongy pink ass out there and dance for the cameras.
Hey, Smoochy! Hey, I'm spinning!
Smoochy is the face of evil.
I'm talking about you and how you're a phony just like all the rest.
No one has ever refused a nice show. No one.
Humor me, Rhino.
Look, could we just kill that spot and bring the house lights up, maybe?
What do you want, Randolph?
Can you spare 60 seconds for a smiley old face from your past?
He ain't no Nazi.
Roy, have you got the hammer?
Always got the hammer, Tommy.
I did this. It was me. It was all me.
Oh, very nice. I've been shot. I'm bleeding. Salmonella. You're a lawyer. That's salmonella.
Well, Smoochy is back.
Well, then you cannot do an ice show and cut out the vendors, especially the Parade of Hope. That's suicide.
We got a chance here to get back on track. We gotta get rid of the rhino.
My cousin, Moochie.
Sheldon, these costumes making my nuts itch. Hey, what round is it?
Smoochy is fuchsia. Moochie is burgundy. Read a paper.
I got news, Nora.
Buggy?
How you doing, apple cheeks?
Take it easy, Randolph. I don't think you want to hurt anyone here.
Go blow yourself, Martha.
You boys ever traveled together before?
All right.
Okay.
All right. Oh, no, not again. God damn. All right. Anniversary show. Anniversary show. You got to drink on your anniversary show. I'm drinking a Macallan 10-year. It's been a long time.
Having some Johnny Blue.
And all my feelings is having some Johnny Blue. I'm not going to take a full shot because I have to get up to work in about, 5.5 hours. Yes, something like that. Cheers, my man.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. It's other side, dude. Other side there. Clink. Fake clink. All right. Cool. So, smooth. All right. Origins of the show. And you can correct me if I make any mistakes. Origins of the show. I pitched this show as it is to a content creator by the name of Preach or Mike Preach Wow, or just simply Mike. He's was a World of Warcraft content creator, and now he's been branching off to other things, and he's doing it very, very well. And we're gonna be in Manchester meeting the guy around August, where we kind of have to miss one of the shows. Around the start of August, but that's beside the point. So I pitched the show as you know it now, apart from the behind the screens bit, which we kind of both came up with it kind of along the way. You kind of asked me, and I said, well, I can do some stuff, and we kind of collaborated, and it's mostly your bit, which I fucking love because you take a whole bunch of stuff that I have to do away from me. Yep. And he originally said, yeah, it kind of come up with, we had a talk, and then he said, well, if you want to be serious, come up with something. I came up with this show, kind of how it looks, kind of. And I was really aching to do the show. and he was very, very busy. And I told him, well, can I like do like a test run? And Oh My Feelings, even though he didn't quite like to be on camera, he said, I'll do it with you so you'll have something to show Mike.
Mhm.
And so we did the show, and I really liked doing it with you. And we did a couple more shows. All first 3 of them were live technically. We recorded them live, but they were
Yep.
unlisted.
Mhm.
By the 3rd week, I was like, I like doing this with you, but I wanted to literally have permission. Oh, even though I didn't need to, I think you told me that I don't really need any permission. Let's
No.
just do it, right?
Let's do
And
it.
I was
I
like,
mean-
I want to be fair with the guy because I pitched the show to him and he did say yes, but not now. I'm busy. And we kind of, from went back and forth. And at the very end, I was like, can I do this live? And maybe you'll join later. And he was like, yeah, just go.
Mhm.
And we started doing them live. The tape, like not recording it live and in front of our friend Saf and 0 other people. Along the way, we kind of got a few guests around, and it is what it is now, where I know All My Feelings is working on getting more guests that are not his friends, and I'm working on more
Yes.
guests that are definitely not my friends. And if we can get them on the show, that'll be good. And if not, we can still do this, because at the end of the day, all these movies that we have listed, and we literally have up to December of this year, right?
Yes.
Everything is pegged
Right now, it's
until
already
December.
booked.
Apart from 2 weeks where it's literally July. 3 weeks. July, you're not going to be there because it's
July the 4th,
It's
yeah.
July the 4th, where it's your mother's birthday. Not only
Yep.
it's Independence
Not
Day
only the 4th of
weekend.
July, yeah, but
Yeah. And Thanksgiving, where you
Manchester.
have family stuff, and of course both of us during August. On the Thanksgiving show and the July show, if we can get a guest, I'm going to do it myself and a guest.
Yep.
But that is undetermined right now because no guest wanted to do the show. Thank you, Saf.
I will say too, by the way, you forgot to mention the major thing, Meth, was the fact that I came up with the names of all the segments.
Oh yeah. For
Thank
sure.
you very much,
I'm
sir.
gonna give you full credit. All of the segment names are completely Oh My Feelings. He came up with them, along with Screen Fighter, where it used to be Cinema Deathmatch, and it is for like a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Along with a nice stinger that says Cinema Deathmatch. But as you can tell, Death to Smoochy on YouTube and on Twitch as well, it doesn't say death, it says D. Two
asterisk,
two
TH,
asterisks,
yes.
asterisks, because YouTube is being a pain in the ass with the whole death, kill,
yes,
war. It's
anything,
many things. Now, we don't really care on the show about curse words and stuff, apart from the 2 main words that we don't like saying, because one will definitely cancel us, and the other one we just don't like to say.
Nope.
Man. I mean, Tarantino can say them. We don't. Otherwise, it's open season on everything, and you know it. I don't know. We're coming up closer and closer and closer to that 1,000, but that's not really the end, and it's not really a gauge for us, because Oh My Feelings said this to me a few months back, and from there until now and until forever, we're going to do the show because it's fun for us to meet up every week and watch a movie during the week. And then, because normally during the week we kind of text to each other, but we don't really talk, because it's hard, because Oh My Feelings is really, really busy. Besides, he's on the opposite side of the world.
Yeah.
When he's free to talk to me, I'm completely like catatonic at this point. I'm rarely alive. So we really love it that we can meet up. We have a pre-show. Once I hit end, we're literally every time we're doing we
talk for
kinda
at least like an
discussed it.
hour, almost 2 hours.
An hour, almost 2 hours.
afterwards.
And then my whole entire Sunday is completely ruined, and I fucking love it because I get to spend time with a friend of mine from across the pond and just shooting the shit. And I told him and I promised him someday when this channel is successful that you get to see the post show, and we're going to call it Mephi After Dark. Not because it deals with my shit. It's just that it's my channel. If Oh My Feelings want to open a channel, we'll do Oh My Feelings After Dark. I don't really care. No?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So once more before we end the show, raise your glass. Thank you very much for being here. Biffer is the only one that's missing. All the rest are regulars. Anyone who sees this, anyone who comes to
Bella's
this,
not here,
this,
but yeah.
sorry. Anyone who comes to this point in the show on the VODs, thank you for watching. Keep watching. Keep trying to get to. I know there's a bit of a problem with the time slot of Saturday at this particular, like at Saturday afternoon for some people. I can't really go that far because my Sunday is absolutely ruined, if not. So we're going to keep doing this time slot, and hopefully you'll join us until next week. By the way, next week, we're going to go from a dark comedy into straight up dark.
Yes.
Straight up dark, because next week we're going to watch 1 hour photo. Or you guys go watch 1 hour photo and come back to us. If you haven't watched it, prepare yourself. It's going to be Robin Williams. If you think you've seen Robin Williams, it goes off the deep end because it is a very interesting, super, super dark movie. Because just prepare yourself. Go watch it. It is very interesting, to say the least. Even watching it even once, it's enough. Right. If you want to interact with the show, please at me on @Mephisto. My DMs are quite open. If you want to be on the show, by the way, DM me. We might slot you in, right? At Mephisto79. Of course, you can email us at the Reel McCoy podcast @gmail.com. Both me and Oh My Feelings can see it, but he's super busy, so it's on me. It's okay. It's fine. No problem. Twitch.tv/the Reel McCoy podcast. If you want to watch us live, the VOD is there for a couple of weeks. Then it kind of disappears into the ether, so you can watch the rest of it on YouTube. And of course, have a great weekend. Enjoy movies, because God damn it, in this world, we need some fucking entertainment. Till next week.
Also, Beth.
Yeah.
Bon anniversaire.
Cheers. L'chaim. Fuck yeah.